Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 24 of the Oblivion Oath, the Halloween Spooktacular episode. Woo! I am your host and game master, Jason Bulmahn, and I'd like to welcome you to this session. Before we get started, I have only one or two brief reminders or notes. The first one is tomorrow, starting at 2:30, we're going to have a special event here on the Paizo stream. It's going to start... this beard is all over the place. Okay, there it is. All right, so the stream is going to start at 2:30, and we're going to have a stream that's going to last almost 4 hours, all the way till 6, and it's going to start out with some unboxing of the Legendary Adventures mini set. So you can stop in at 2:30 to see Eric, Mona, and Mark Moreland unbox a bunch of minis and go through the newest set of Pathfinder battles. Then starting at 4 p.m., we are going to have the Pathfinder Crit Arena, a 2-hour event where every single die roll will be every single attack roll will be a crit success or a crit failure. Jeez, this beard is really big. I can see it in the camera. Okay, so that's what's going on tomorrow, so please tune in. All right, looking up at the board, is anyone short a hero point? Who's got?
I think we're all at 2.
Yeah, I'm two.
Two. All right. Well, in that case, we're gonna roll randomly here. And Keeley, you are awarded a hero point from Blair Watt.
My goodness.
So we'll
Thank
do
you.
that as we start out. I also noticed that I have a whole ton of villain points, like a ridiculous number backlogged. I have 3 stored. I have a whole bunch more. So thank you all for being evil.
Ooh.
So, when we last left our haunted band of adventurers, they had ventured into an ancient stronghold beneath a ruined keep. Delving down deep beneath the earth, they found that beneath some ancient ruins was some sort of holdfast, some place of like a place of last resort for the fortress that once dwelled above. And they learned that this place was the domicile of one Prince Lirin Karasov, who over 100 years ago founded this fortress, trying to carve out a piece of River Kingdoms for their own. However, shortly after getting settled, things started to go wrong. There were murders. At first, he assumed that there was strife amongst the workers, digging out the natural caverns below the place, making his kind of redoubt. But as time went on, it became clear that there was something far more sinister going on. You went down here to explore this, found a journal filled with kind of details of this, and upon reading it, found that the old rusty iron gate up at the front leading down into this place had slammed shut, trapping you inside, and that the mechanism to raise the gate was now missing. Worse still, areas of utter blackness began to close in around you, making the entire place claustrophobic and closed in. You ventured into that darkness at one point, hoping to find some light on the other side, but found nothing, and instead ventured back downstairs through the library and into an old office. In that office, you found a chest that had been sliced right in half. I'm caught on something.
It's the core book.
I'm caught on the core rule book. All right, I got this. All right, there we are. Yeah, all right. This is chaos. All right. So you found a chest that had been sliced cleanly in half, and then went and investigated a desk. The chest had spilled out its coins, and I believe our Lieutenant Swift-Thistle promptly began scooping them up. You went over to the desk and found inside 2 things. One, a journal of like law. The laws that had been passed and those who had been executed while this keep was in place. You also found a small wooden box with an exquisite pen set in it, like a quill and ink. And then last but not least, you found a ancient woolen cap, stained rust-colored and kind of red.
Yeah.
From there, you ventured off over into to investigate the other direction that you had not gone, which led you to an ancient chapel. Looking beyond that and venturing beyond the chapel, it looked like it might have been a chapel to
Calistria?
Calistria, that's it. But venturing beyond that, you found that beneath that was the catacombs of this keep. And upon marching in there, the key suddenly grew rather cold. And the bodies began to stir and stand up. Soon, the entire crypt was rising up beneath you, trying to follow you out of that tiny, tiny space. You rushed back up into the church and slammed the door shut, or at least tried to. It was actually a giant, heavy stone door and very difficult to move. And you managed to get it almost all the way closed when the first skeletal arm reached through, and you slammed it shut, shattering the arm and leaving you in the chapel. But that is when the darkness from beyond began to move toward you. It began to overtake you with kind of sudden speed. And that is exactly where we are going to pick up.
Oh, spooky.
Killing me here. All right.
Yeah, you knocked down a Skittermander.
We'll just have it go. Did I?
Yeah.
You monster!
Have I killed the Skittermander?
Kill the Skittermander.
It's just the blue one. The rest of them are fine.
It's fine.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh,
All right.
he's cute.
So, that is where we are leaving off. As you are there, the room itself is now engulfed in darkness.
Are they
Great.
the sounds of like skeletons clawing on the other side of the stone door still?
In
or
fact,
does
you
it
can hear the scraping, scratching noise.
Okay.
Who is holding the door? Because it doesn't have a latch.
Currently, Carina is.
Yeah.
She was the one that shut it, or somebody helped her too, I think. One of you
It
two.
probably wasn't me.
I think it was.
Was it me? I don't remember.
I can try, but
It was
it
one of
won't
us
do
two,
much.
yeah.
I guess we were panicking too much. It's probably all you. We're just freaking out next to you.
Yeah, well, I'm freaking out too. How strong are skeletons? Are they going to be able to push open this door?
So, you don't think they're going to be able to push open the door? As long as you're holding it.
Right, okay, but if there's something creepy that's going to come kill us, I
Then
can't
that's
sit and
gonna-
hold the door.
Yeah.
So I think Carina would just be like, hey, is there anything around here? See if you can find something to help shut the door.
If only we could see.
Yeah.
So as you are all there, she calls out. You suddenly hear.
Oh, Mr. Stompy
Put my
Boots.
bow, I put
Yeah.
my bow away and pull out my sword.
So as you are having this discussion, it starts out kind of faint, and then it gets really loud and really fast.
Oh.
Like the stomping is running, and it is growing louder and louder as it comes into the room. It must be in the room. There's no way it's not. Can I get everyone to roll initiative?
Perception, I presume.
Can I
Yes,
take an
please.
action to cry?
On your turn. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Oh no.
Oh, also, oh no.
So bad. So bad.
Yay. Oh, this darkness is gonna not be great.
Yeah.
What kind of a terrible GM would use such a thing?
It's true. What kind of monster would do that? All right, so let me get all of these. Let me get Seth out of there. All right, we're going to use our terrible Zell converted to Swift Thistle for the moment because I keep forgetting to replace it.
Hey, it checks out.
Nicodemus, what do you got?
8.
We're going to go and put you over here. Swift Thistle.
29.
We're gonna go ahead and
boy.
put you way over here. Carina.
16.
Somewhere in the middle. Micah.
9. Wait.
So, Swift Thistle. You
Yeah.
may act first.
Okay, well, this thing is running towards us, right?
Yeah, but you can't see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I pulled out my sword, so I'm going to go ahead and just take a defensive parry action to boost my AC by 1.
Okay.
And then I will position myself in front of the rest of the party, so if this thing's going to hit someone, it's going to hit me.
Okay, you're also the only one who isn't tied
To the thing.
Oh,
yeah.
to everyone else. If
Yeah.
if I would remind you, the other three
I
of you
forgot.
are tied to one another.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I sort of just strung here, here,
yeah,
here. Okay.
you can kind of move yourself. It's coming from that other direction.
Okay.
This way.
I will,
Yeah.
5
Right
foot to
there?
right there. Yeah, and I'll just sit here, because it's going to hit something, and it's probably going to be me.
Sure. Yeah. All right. That was Lieutenant Swift Thistle's turn.
Good.
Well,
The stomping comes running up, and it must be right on top of you. And you hear the sound like that sound of a swoosh, like something cutting through the air with lightning speed. But none of you are hit.
Okay. Just kidding. You're all hit.
What?
And the boots continue stomping around the room. They still sound like they're in the room, but they came really, really, really close. And now they don't sound as close. Carina, it's your turn.
I think I'm gonna have to ask, like, should I keep holding the door? Do we block this thing? What do I do, guys? I don't know.
So, no, is anyone hurt?
No.
I think... Okay, yeah, I'm still talking, so my head's still on. We should get out of here.
I can hear the skeletons behind this door.
Yep, and we should...
Well, we've got the skeletons behind the door, and we've got whatever this thing is, so... we should keep the door shut. Is there anything we can put in front of it?
I have a bunch of copper we could jam the track if it has one.
Yeah, that's not how it works. Yeah.
Do I remember seeing anything in this area that I could...
There's nothing. This room has a bunch of pews, but they're stone and they're attached to the floor. They're just like stone blocks. There are
And they're attached to the floor?
Well, it just looks like they may not be attached, but you also probably guess that they weigh several hundred pounds each. So
You're like, yeah,
moving
but I'm
them
a
is going to be
dwarf.
incredibly
Yeah.
difficult. So there isn't a lot in here. You could have sworn there was some ruined bits of the altar up around there, but it was just like chunks of wood.
Yeah.
You could probably, if you could see, gather up enough of that to put it in front of the door to at least slow it from opening, but you're not sure you could jam it from opening.
I guess I'll just call out and say, "Show yourself, you fiend." I don't know.
Coward. Oh, no.
You don't get a response. But otherwise you're just going to keep holding the door?
Yeah, and maybe ask the rest of the party, like, "Hey, could you find something to help me keep this door shut?"
Great. Could you give me an athletics check, please, to see
Sure.
how well you are holding the door?
Oh, good.
As long as you don't roll badly,
The
it'll
door
be
just
fine.
lurches.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
no,
this will be
don't say
fine.
hold the door.
It's gonna be at 18.
Okay.
Oh.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. Yeah, you're holding the door, but like every once in a while, it kind of does one of these.
They're pushing against it.
I'm trying.
And it feels like they are piling up.
Oh, God.
Of course they are.
Damn.
That was Carina. Mikah.
I don't know what to do.
Just ate some beard.
Good.
Nom, nom.
Fiber.
Delicious.
I mean, I want to try and help hold the door as much as I can. I don't know how much I'm going to actually help with that.
So the door's pretty narrow. It's actually kind of hard to get more than one person up on top of it. I mean, you might be able to, but it is...
I'm a little gnome.
Maybe help find some stuff to
Yeah.
put in front of the door.
Yeah. Can I... And, like, the light spell, nothing works on this, right?
You already had a light
I already,
up, and it's
it
not
didn't,
working.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, can I try and find stuff?
Yeah,
to-
you can spend your turn to go up to where the altar was and kind of feel
Yeah.
around for bits of debris and stuff.
Should I untie myself from the rope?
You would have to.
I'm gonna do it!
Okay.
I don't want to, but I'm doing it.
All right. So you spend an action untying yourself from the rope. You spend another action kind of feeling your way up to the altar,
Yep.
and then you feel around, and eventually you do find like a chunk of wood from whatever the altar was. It's pretty good size.
Okay.
You can lift it up, but that's where your turn ends.
Okay.
Nicodemus.
I will also untie myself at this point
Yes.
and stumble my way towards the altar.
We're all doomed.
Probably bumping into Mikah. I'm sorry,
oh.
sorry. That's
That's you, right?
Okay, yeah, it's me.
Okay.
And again, see if there's anything I can.
You also
find.
are able to find some chunks of wood.
Okay.
Swift thistle.
Pick him up.
Well, I can hear people bumbling around behind me looking for solutions. There was a door that this thing came in through, right?
There is a way out of this room, but there is not a door in that way. It's
Okay.
just a passageway.
I will let you all know that I'm going to go guard the door really quickly just to make sure nothing comes through, and I will go and just kind of fumble around until I find the opening, and I will crouch down next to it and just actively listen.
Okay. All right, you go and crouch down. So whatever the stomping is still in the room, and you.
Oh, so it's still in the
It
room.
It didn't leave, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you don't think it's left yet.
I redact that statement.
Let me
I fall back to
read.
where all the rest of the
All
yelling
right,
is. I still have my
yeah.
sword out. If possible, I'll take a ready to action to attack if anything comes near me that isn't a friendly voice.
Sure. All right.
We all die from friendly fire.
Oh no.
All right. So, let's see here. Yeah, all right. So, the stomping suddenly recedes. You hear the boots kind of stomp off out of this chamber into the darkness. At this point in time, I'm going to drop out of initiative because the stomping fades away. And then the light slowly comes back.
Oh, come on. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just...
So, as the light comes back, like the two of you are over there with your chunks of wood and stuff. The undead are still
Yeah,
pushing at
yeah.
the door. That is still an emergent problem. However, you notice that the rope has been cut, as if it ran right between you and
Ew.
sliced the rope.
Of course it did.
Oh.
So we didn't even need to untie ourselves.
Yeah, you just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was dark.
That's not
We
good.
didn't feel it like go slack or anything?
You might have, but in the middle
But
of the
like,
fight,
yeah.
because it was
Oh,
hard
man.
to tell.
That's a sharp weapon.
Because
Yeah.
the rope had some slack in it. You
Right,
specifically gave
yeah.
it some slack. So, yeah, it apparently ran between you and sliced the
So
rope.
it didn't miss. It's just messing with
Yes.
Wonderful.
But we should solve the problem in front
Yes.
of us
Sure,
yes,
first,
yes.
Yes.
which is making sure this door doesn't open and have skeletons pour out of it.
We don't need a flood of skeletons and a creepy
Whatever
knife
it is.
wielding whatever.
Yeah.
As you
Cool.
bring that wood over there,
Yeah.
Okay.
and just kind of pile it up enough
Yeah.
that it prevents them from coming through momentarily.
Yeah.
All right.
This gives us some time to back off.
So you pile up wood in front of the door, and because of the statues and the nearby pews and whatnot, you can kind of make a bit of a junk heap there that at least is going to make it really hard for the door to open. It probably will eventually if they keep trying, but you wager that this is the sort of barricade that will probably give you 10 minutes, maybe, maybe 15,
Okay.
depending on how intelligent these things are.
Mikah, do you happen to know if we get a certain distance from the skeletons that the key will let them rest peacefully again?
It could. I can
Will
try
it
going.
deanimate them?
Yeah. You can try going to the other side of the room.
We could get out of this
Seeing,
temple
yeah.
altogether, actually, and get as far away from the crypt as possible, and perhaps that will cause them to, and then we never return.
Yeah.
Well, we do still
but-
have the problem of the gate.
Right.
yes.
Yeah. I was going to ask if you had any like bombs that you could just throw in there and shut the door.
Oh,
again.
well, most certainly. I could.
I don't know
just
how-
that we'd have to open the door first, and that is.
Right.
I will be at the ready for when they do come pouring through with a bit of an explosive.
But
As you're saying this, by the
Oh,
way,
no.
the door continues to vibrate. And
Yeah.
you can hear the kind of clattering, scratching from the other side.
Okay.
I think the best way to get out of here is to go into the tiny, terrifying-looking cracks that we've seen on the far sides of the building. Or building.
Go through the underground, the caverns.
Yeah.
Maybe perhaps if they find a way to lead up, out to the surface. Oh,
I mean,
I don't relish that thought.
Do you
But
have a
I don't
better one?
relish staying here much
Yeah.
longer either.
yeah.
Or shall we just make a stand?
Against what? We don't know what we're facing though.
skeletons.
Well, the skeletons, yeah.
You
but
say once you've killed them, they're once again they
Yeah,
Yeah,
rest.
but
Yeah.
if this, who knows how long these catacombs and crypts were here? We don't even know how many of these
Yeah.
things are behind that door.
It looked like just from what you saw, and you couldn't even see the whole extent of the crypts, it looked like there was at least about 24 bodies.
Oh, yeah.
jeez.
Oh, hey.
That's a lot.
Don't want to do that. I don't know.
I'll take
If we're gonna make
This
a
is
stand,
fine.
maybe we should make a stand up by the gate,
Okay.
and then
Yes.
maybe go through a crack in the
Yeah.
wall.
Or if it comes for us, maybe it
Yeah.
has the item on us or on it that we need to get out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, something
Nice.
has the mechanism for that gate.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you leave this door behind, and even as you are walking away, you see the first signs of it moving.
Yep.
Right? It shifts like an inch as they finally push it open a bit, and some of the debris shifts a little, but it still continues to hold as you make your way out of the room. But it is clear to you that this barricade is not going to last forever. Who amongst you has the highest craft check? Who helped build it?
I might have a +9, it's mostly for alchemy, but
But yeah, you know,
Yes.
I'm gonna make this check and see.
Sure thing.
So,
Mine's also 9.
all right. Yeah, I mean, you did the best you could with
Yes.
the tools at hand. I'm sure it's gonna work out great.
it'll be fine.
Hooray!
You all can't see my big giant grin. That's what this beard hides.
Oh, you're
All
You
right,
can
well,
see the evil in your eyes. Yes.
This
That's just
beard.
him
All right.
choking on it.
Choke on your evil beard.
Curses! My evil beard has turned against me. Curse me, and it's inevitable betrayal. All right. So, you retreat from here, and from here, from the chapel, you go back to the library.
Yeah.
You've put the book back.
Right.
That didn't appear to help you at all.
Do anything, yeah.
So the book is still there. All of the other books, if you recall, got tossed off
Yeah.
of their shelves in giant heaps at some point in time.
Yep.
I think we put a bunch of them in a sack and left it by the door.
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
We did.
Same.
Yeah.
Because we were so optimistic
I
that we
know.
were getting out of here.
Yeah.
Get the
No,
wine,
it's
the
fine.
books.
Oh, we'll just have money and books galore.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did grab some of them. So from here you have the passageway going to the office, which has a pair of giant cracks in it going off into the darkness. The chapel didn't have any of those cracks, by the way. Neither does the library. And from here you have a staircase that goes up
Right.
to the entry room. The entry room.
Did any of the cracks seem like they were, the tunnels behind them seemed like they were going upwards at all?
It's really hard to say. You couldn't really. I mean, most of them went about 10 feet before plunging into darkness, and they kind of went up. They kind of went down. It
Sure,
doesn't,
sure.
There wasn't an even pattern. Like, oh, this definitely is climbing.
Yeah.
You can't use your ranger senses to be like, this one has fresh air coming from it.
Could I use my ranger senses to be like, this one has fresh air coming?
Calm
from
it down, Aragorn. All right.
2 hobbits lay here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can technically make a check to try and get a sense of whether or not one of them leads to like fresh air, because the air will move in certain ways when exposed to the outside environment as opposed to a sealed
I
cavern.
will lick my finger. Oh, go ahead.
Sure, but this room doesn't have any cracks in it. You have the
We have to,
library.
yeah, we have to go up another
So,
room.
I mean, doing it here is just like, I don't know, there's an office that way.
Yeah,
go
so
into
into
the
the
office real quick?
office. We'll head into the
Sure.
office.
I can tell there's an office.
I will head in there, lick my finger, and then gag since it's covered in like disgusting copper residue.
Yeah,
And,
sure.
I rolled a 9 on the dice. What sort of check did you want me to make?
This is survival check.
Survival check?
Yeah.
All right, then that's an 18.
An 18.
An 18.
You do get a sense of air flow from. There's a passageway to the north, and there's a passageway to the south. The one to the north seems to be pulling in air.
Okay. I will seem kind of shocked and be like, actually, no, the one to the north, I can smell, the disgusting swamp through there, but not like the stagnant one.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Make our way through.
Making our way downtown.
Crack.
Do you want to go first? And
I'll take point.
I'll go in the back.
All right.
All right. So, you make your way into this passageway, and as you kind of creep down it, it's actually kind of difficult going because it doesn't look like it's really sized for any of you. There are points in times where you have to kind of squeeze and scrape to get through it, and the way is actually is really tough. But after about 30 feet or so, it definitely starts having a bit of an incline, as if you're climbing up. And the passageway is kind of winding and twisting and turning, and you're all making your way up there, and there are points where you have to kind of crawl. And the passageway is a little slick and a little damp, and it's kind of really dark, and you have light. Who has light?
Me.
You just, yeah.
And I have the ever-burning torch.
Yeah, you have the torch, which you can kind of have out at times, and other times you have to stow when you have to kind of climb. And at one particular point, you're all kind of climbing through this passageway, and you finally hit a small hollow where you can all kind of stand up again. And after having crawled through the most recent one, you look down at your hands and realize that they're blood red.
Oh.
And you look down, and the moisture on the floor, it's like a river of blood flowing through this passageway. And
Smelling that fresh swamp air,
it
huh?
smells great down here.
no, you do get a sense of the kind of gross swampy smell, but now there's also and it pools in this chamber. There's just a rivulet kind of running down the passageway. But there's definitely more coming from the direction that you're heading. There is now kind of that tinge of that sickly sweet tinge of copper is now in the air.
No, not my underlings. Okay, I'm gonna start moving faster.
So we're heading towards a blood river.
Following it upstream.
It's fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bloody salmon.
When
Great.
following your blood river, always go upstream. I mean, yeah, it's common sense.
Yeah.
That's the point.
All right.
Whisper adventure.
Yeah, that's right. It's my special brand of benevolence. All right.
Great.
So, you continue making your way up this passageway, crawling on your hands and knees, soaking yourself in blood. And
Halloween.
the chamber, the passageway finally opens up into a cavernous chamber. It's not huge, but unlike every other passageway and chamber you've been in up to this point, this one's like, it's a good 20 feet wide, maybe 30 feet long. Although it's kind of hard to get a sense of the full dimension of it because one half of it is just black.
Oh.
Yep.
The darkness.
It rises up there. There's another crack leading off into the darkness. And from that direction, the moment you enter this chamber, you can hear down in that direction the clacking and clattering of bones. They don't sound near, but they definitely sound that way.
How's the key doing right about now?
Cold. Frigid. It is
great.
freezing in your pocket. As a matter of fact, you look down and the area where it is like covered in frost.
Oh, God.
Some of the blood that caked on there has frozen into like tiny red crystals.
So disgusting.
That's great.
And as you look into this chamber, and behind you, kind of between the two passageways, there is a bit of a rise, and it almost looks like a chair. And sitting in that chair is the headless skeleton.
With the noble clothes?
Yeah.
Of what we assumed was the prince?
Yeah.
Are they bloody too?
Yes. Yeah.
Like fresh bloody?
Looks like it.
Oh, no.
And as you enter this chamber, it begins to suddenly kind of stir. Although headless, it's kind of stirring and stumbling around. And out of the darkness steps a figure. You hear the stomping boots coming up out of the darkness, and stepping into your dim light is this old, wretched-looking man. He's no more than about 3.5, 4 feet tall. Atop his head is a bloody red cap.
I knew it.
In one hand, in his hands, he wields a gigantic scythe. And he just kind of chuckles with that dry, mirthless laugh you heard before. And on that, I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, boy.
We meet again, Cosmo.
Well,
I don't know what that means. All right.
oh, good. Great. Awesome.
Okay.
I mean,
Nicodemus, what do you got?
17.
Micah.
8.
Oh, boy.
No.
Karina.
I rolled a 1, and I'm trying to decide if I want to use a hero point. I think I'll just go with the 1. 9.
Yeah, I'd save the hero points
Yeah.
for other rolls or
Zell.
not dying.
I'm sorry. Swift Thistle.
Oh,
19.
He didn't die. He's just off on his own
Yeah.
adventure.
he just turned into an elf.
No, I know. It's fine. All right. All right. So, let's see. What did I get? I got oh, never mind. All right. So the first thing that happens is we're not going to use a map for this because it's.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because I don't want to get one set up in the middle of this. All right. So the monsters go first. So the first thing that happens is the skeleton is going to blindly stumble forward at one of you.
Okay.
And it's going to come for Nicodemus. And it's going to swipe at you with a claw.
Mm-hmm.
But it can't see you.
Right.
So that's definitely going to miss, because it doesn't have a head.
Right, yeah.
So it swipes clumsily at you with a claw, but misses. Swipes again, and that's not going to hit either. But it is like trying to get you.
Yeah.
As it swipes at you with
Got my
without
cane
its
out.
head. Yeah.
Just kind of hitting it.
Meanwhile, in the front, who has the cap from the desk?
Oh,
That's me. I'm
no.
carrying it. Yeah,
Well,
indeed.
the
Oh, no.
red-capped old man, we'll just call him a red cap,
Oh,
because
makes
he
sense.
has
Why
a red
would
cap
we?
on.
Why is Mr. Redcap? What could it mean?
He comes charging up toward you,
Mm-hmm.
screaming, "Give me it! It's mine! It's mine!"
I have a question. Well, I don't know. It's not my turn, so I guess maybe I should wait. But
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
It spends 2 actions running up to you because it was on the other side of the chamber, and it attacks you with its scythe. Choking on beard.
Choke on that beard.
never mind.
Not that
You're
much,
fine.
though. No, we're
Sorry,
concerned.
everybody. Does an armor class 20 hit you?
Yes.
All right. It hits you with the scythe for 14. The scythe slashes into you, leaving a terrifying wound. That is the end of my turn. Swift Thistle.
Oh, okay.
It's your turn.
How far away is that thing from me?
How far away is the red cap?
Yeah, that thing's way scarier.
It's about 10 feet away.
10 feet away. Okay, well, I have my weapon out. I will go ahead and move up really quickly here. First, I'm going to point and be like, "You're with me." So I'm hunter marking it, and I'm going to go ahead and make an attack towards it.
All right.
I will.
Oh, we finally get to see Swift Thistle in combat.
I'll
Yeah.
sprint
Oh,
forward,
nice.
do a quick 360, and bring my Elven Curve Blade to bear. That's not the best roll though, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a hero point to try and put this thing down as quick as possible.
Oh, sure.
Just gonna
You
reroll
can
that.
go ahead and give me that coin.
Don't do it. Oh.
Thank you, Elf. I appreciate you letting me try this over again. Oof. 18 actually this time.
18 is not going to be enough. I'm assuming you ran up into a position where you were at least flanking.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Since we're not using a map, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You ran up to that position, and yeah, no, an 18 is just not gonna quite do it. You were close, but it just dodges out of the way, and you get a few of its beard hairs that go flittering in the breeze.
Inhale, then start coughing a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It happens to the best of us. So you still have. Let's see. You marked it. You moved, and you attacked. So
Yep,
you're all done.
3. Yep.
Nicodemus, you are flanked.
I know. Does this this red cap wearing the cap that I have look similar to the one that
It
he
looks
is
very
wearing?
similar to this one. This one looks new. The one that you have looks
That's
really old.
I'm just trying to think of what I make that connection. Basically.
Yeah, you would. They look identical,
Okay.
with the exception of the one that you have. Now that you see this one that looks dipped in fresh blood, the one that you have looks like it's old and rusty, like it's dried blood.
Right. Okay. Well, I will take a step a step back.
All right.
So I'm not
Out
in
of the
flank
flank,
anymore.
yeah, sure.
Right. I will then retrieve that cap from my inventory.
Sure.
And just kind of toss it at the little fella. I'm like, I don't want this. You can have it.
You throw the cap at him, and he just screeches as it lands on the floor. But as it does so, you notice that the floor here is just pools of blood.
Okay.
And all of it looks like it's coming from the darkness in front of you that you cannot see.
Oh God.
Oh.
That's fine. I'm sure
Disgusting.
nothing is bad with that.
So, moving on.
Great.
That's
Carina.
me.
I'm gonna go after the skeleton. Is there someone I
You
can...
need to take one move to get up to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do that. So then.
I'm assuming everyone had weapons out. I'm not worried.
Yeah,
about
oh,
that.
yeah. And that is going to be. I rolled an 8, so it's going to be a 18 to hit.
There he is.
Yee.
18 against the skeleton is definitely a hit. Yeah, no problem at all.
So that it's gonna be a 11 plus 4 is gonna be 15 points of damage.
So you run up and slam your blade into the skeleton, and it just shatters. Like it was just a plain old ordinary skeleton, and it just shatters. But even as you see its bones click and clatter against the wall and the floor, as it just kind of breaks apart and the robes kind of fall to the floor, you see the bones kind of twitch and twitter and kind of slowly start pulling back together.
Alright.
You still have one action.
Yep.
Scream.
I guess go up to the little monster thing. Does it seem like it's
The
just
thing with the red cap.
yeah, that thing? Does it seem like it's just really old, or is it like I'm getting the undead vibe from it?
It doesn't look undead. It looks like it's alive, but it looks like it looks like a tiny little, like 4 foot tall, like 90-year-old man.
Okay.
Aw.
It's a lot faster than it looks, though.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
And you notice that it
stronger.
is wearing gigantic metal boots.
I think I will use my last action. I kind of need to talk to it and say, hey, you've got your red cap back. Now you can let us go and stop hunting people in this cave system, right?
Give me a diplomacy check.
It's blank, so,
Zero.
so just charisma then.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be at 12.
Well, you try that.
Yeah,
You're
well,
not
I
sure
have
if it
to
works.
try.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. Yeah, you tried to redeem it. Mikah.
My question is, so
Itchy.
so I know out of character what it is. I can't remember if they're fey or not.
That would be a nature check.
Okay. Let's see, because that would help some of my rolls.
Oh, I understand.
Oh no, my nature check is 0. 14, hey.
Yeah, you're pretty sure this thing is a fae.
Okay.
But you don't really know much about it.
Okay.
You're looking at it and you're like, I think I've heard,
Yeah.
tales of evil, vindictive fae
Okay.
called red caps. And
Okay.
this thing, it looks like an evil, vindictive fae with a red cap. So you don't really know much about it other than that, though. You've heard stories about it, but you can't recall them right now in the middle of the fight.
Okay. But I gain a +2 circumstance bonus to perception checks and saving throws against fey?
Oh, sure. So that'll help.
Because I have fey fellowship, so.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Hooray! Okay, cool.
Still have 2 actions.
I'm gonna try
For
and
most spells.
yeah, I'm gonna use my newly acquired acid arrow.
All right.
Oh, all right. Well, all right.
I haven't used it yet, and I don't know how, so we'll try.
Okay, so you're gonna make a spell attack roll.
Yep.
Let's do it.
And let's see. And that is. It's not. Well, it's okay. It's 15.
15.
Probably not great.
No, that's going to miss. Your blob of acid goes streaking past it, hitting the wall and just sizzling and burning there. But you do miss.
Womp womp.
All right, that was Mikah. The red cap goes.
Oh, good.
The first thing it does is bend down to pick up the cap. This does provoke if anyone has the ability to take attack opportunities.
Sadly,
No.
Nope. All right.
Great.
So that's the first thing it does. It clutches it closely to its chest, and you just swung at it, and it just screams, "Yes, mine, mine! It needs fresh blood!" And it swings at you.
Yep. All right.
Armor class 23.
Yes.
Is it within 15 feet of
Yes.
me? Is Swiss Thistle? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it feel guilty.
You can make it feel bad about its life choices.
Yes.
I should have made this hat redder.
Yeah. So would you like
should've
it?
made her
Would
more
you
red
like Swift Thistle to be unharmed by the triggering action, or
No, I'm going to take
The
the
other one.
penalties. Bring on the penalties.
let's do enfeebled?
One of these days, I'm going to
so
accept
it's gonna
that,
be-
but this guy isn't.
Enfeebled.
2?
Yes.
Yeah.
And resistance to all damage against the triggering damage equal to 5.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're going to take 5 less damage.
Okay.
Good.
So instead of 19, you only take 14.
Okay.
Ooh, boy.
I'm down for that. That's
You're welcome.
I mean,
Lordy.
Thank you.
it's better, yeah.
Better than nothing.
And then with my third action,
Oh.
And it feels guilty.
it does. And now it is enfeebled. With my
Good.
third action, I am going to attempt to... Yeah, I'm gonna stomp you.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, stop you real good.
Jumps
I'm
up and
gonna stomp you. Here comes the stompy. Not enough. All right,
Okay.
so
Dang
he attempts to stomp you with his boot, but he fails to connect. He tried to like kick you, but that didn't quite hit.
He just kicks you with a shit.
All right, Swift Thistle, it is your turn.
He really, really hurts. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and just retaliate against this. I'm just gonna turn into a blunder and go
Okay.
ahead and make 3 attacks against this guy.
All right,
First one is going to be a 28.
28 will hit.
Okay. Second attack is going to be a 16. Sadly.
You should roll on camera.
That's right. Yeah. And the third attack, unfortunately, is only going to be a 13.
Sorry, what was the second attack?
16.
16. All right, so you only hit once.
Okay. Well, that is going to be a total of 3 points of damage, as I'll just kind of like lightly caress him with my weapon here.
it's fair. Yeah, you reach out and generally make him feel mildly uncomfortable.
So, somewhat distraught by the sheer
and
amount of
he's-
blood gushing out of my open wound right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
you know. Okay.
And he's guilty.
Yeah, and he feels real guilty about it. All right. So you hit him, and he just looks down at his own blood, and he's just like, "Ah!" He looks really upset with that.
Made him bleed his own blood.
Nicodemus.
Poor life choices.
Are these skeleton bones rattling together in a...
It looks like it's going to take another whole round before they come back together.
Okay. And how many of you are standing next to the red cap?
But
this
you can
point?
also, by the way, hear all the clattering coming from down the passageway, and it sounds like it's getting closer.
Oh no! Does it sound like within the? How far away is that passage? By the way,
So
Let's
you
say that.
the chamber itself is about 20 feet across. In one corner was the passageway you came in, and the other corner is the passageway that leads somewhere else. You have no idea where. And then there's the darkness. And kind of to be clear, that's where the blood is coming from.
Right.
And it is also kind of where you can smell
Fresh airish.
fresh air, mixed with a heavy tinge of copper.
All right.
But those two passageways are about 20 feet apart. All the fighting is happening kind of between them.
Okay, so it's within 20 feet of me-ish.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right, I'm going to pull out a flask of moderate alchemist fire and ready in action to throw it at the wave of skeletons that I assume is going to be coming out of there anytime soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Don't they have to crawl like single file like we did through there?
You would assume you can't see any of them
Yeah.
yet, so all you know is that the sound is getting closer.
Okay. Maybe that'll help kind of bottleneck it a little.
All right. That was Nicodemus. Carina.
I'm gonna go up to the red cap and try and hit it.
Okay. So you make a action to move, and now you can go.
Alrighty. That's gonna be a 17.
You happy with that?
Not really.
I'm just asking.
I think I'm gonna try again.
Once again, the beard hides my sinister smile.
Ooh, that's a
Hey.
little better. That's gonna be a 27 to hit.
A 27
Nice.
certainly hits. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Worth
that's
it.
gonna hit.
Alrighty. So 10 points of damage.
All right, 10 points of damage. Okay, so it's taken 13 now.
And my last action, I'm gonna raise my shield.
There you go.
All right. So you run up and slash at the creature. Give me a perception check.
20.
When you move up near it, it kind of winces, and you're not sure why. In particular, when you get close, it's like, yeah. It didn't do that to anybody else, but it definitely did that to you.
Okay.
File
that away.
Micah.
It hates
Made it feel
dwarves.
guilty.
Well, let's see. I didn't do so great at my new spell because I just learned it, so...
That's first time casting. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't expect to be perfect. at it
Yeah,
the first time.
exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and use a 3-action magic missile at it.
Nice.
Because that's a little more reliable.
A little.
So,
All right, so all 3 missiles go
Classic.
slicing out through the darkness and slam into the creature.
Come here, little D4. Oh no, I can't get it. Okay. Let's see. So that's a 4, a 1, and another 4. And then that's +3, right?
Yeah, so 12 total.
Sweet, yeah.
All right. Your missiles go slamming into the creature, and it hisses and cries out in pain. It is now the start of its turn. It spins to look at you and kind of hisses at you in like, disgusting, and it then swings its scythe at you.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty rude.
Yeah.
Very rude.
Armor class. Well, I'm enfeebled, so armor class 27.
That'll hit.
He's the one wearing a bloody hat. He's disgusting.
Take 19 points of damage.
Oh, owie.
You do have your shield up though, right?
Yeah. Oh wait,
yeah.
so I can shield block it.
You can shield block that if you want,
Yeah.
but you
That
will not be
shield
able to
is-
use your
Yeah, I bet I'm
reaction.
gonna save the reaction.
All right, you gonna take it?
Yep.
Okay, it's going to swing at you again with the scythe. Let's see, that's an armor class 22
That'll also hit.
Just
for 13.
Okay.
Gonna shield block that.
Nope.
Okay, take 13. And with its last action, it's gonna spin around and attempt to kick Swift Thistle
Oh, come on.
for the fun of it. Yeah. But it's not gonna hit.
Oh,
It
okay.
tried to kick you, but it
much fun
came
as-
nowhere close. It was
much fun
it's,
as kidding.
it's like a 14. 14 ain't gonna hit.
Nope.
No. All right. Okay. That was its turn. Swift Thistle.
Okay. Well, I didn't just get kicked in the head, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep spinning here.
Swift Thistle, do you have nature?
I do actually.
Something about it is itch in the back of your head,
Okay.
but it would require an action for you to learn more.
I will definitely follow up on that then. That's going to be a 14.
You're not quite sure. Something about red caps. They don't like something. There's something that they don't like, and it must be something to do with Carina. but
Karina,
you're not sure
obviously.
what it is.
Yeah.
Asthma.
Maybe.
Well,
Well,
he's Phrasman, though.
I mean, nobody knows that yet.
Well,
It's not like he's got it
true.
emblazoned on his forehead. All right, so
Sorry.
that was one of your
Friends
actions.
for
Yeah,
Rasmus.
yeah.
All right. So first attack is cocked actually, but looks like it's a 10, so we'll go with that. 19.
19. I said specifically before that you were in a flank, so that is going to hit.
hooray!
Okay. Awesome. Here we go. That is going to be a 7 for damage.
7.
I will go ahead and spin again one more time, throwing the weapon directly at it. Nah, that'll just flail awkwardly off to the side.
Because you threw it. You should.
It's
a
been
sword.
10 years. Okay.
Yeah, no, stop throwing weapons. Yeah, all right. By the way, on its turn, it looked like some of its wounds kind of closed up.
oh, come on. Rude.
Oh, good.
So that was Swift Thistle. Nicodemus.
Nothing out yet.
No, you can hear them clattering and getting closer, but they sound like you're sitting there ready, and since you spent the entire turn kind of paying attention to
Yeah.
it, it sounds like they're still a couple rounds away.
Okay.
The skeleton that was on the throne of the prince
Right,
is now starting to put itself back together, but even that's probably going to take till next round to finish.
I'm sorry, could I firebomb it in advance? Just burn it, but
You
no.
could. It wouldn't create much of a fire, but
Right.
you don't know.
Well, I hate to splash the both of you.
Do it.
Is blood flammable?
God, I hope not.
That would be awesome. I mean,
Never
Only
thought
going to be
about it
2
before.
damage. If I. Oh no, is that like?
I mean, I have 14 hit points left.
Okay.
shield block the explosion damage.
All right. I gotta use a bomb. I'm itching to use a bomb.
Do it.
Happy Halloween! Trick or treat! So I'm
Shaped
gonna,
like a
I'm gonna
jack-o'-lantern.
check this Alchemist
It's
Fire
definitely a trick.
at
Yeah.
the red cap.
All right.
That's pretty good. That is a 21 to
21
hit.
will hit.
Yeah. So two of you take 2 fire damage,
Yeah.
and then so does he plus 10, so 12 fire damage, and he's on fire. 2 persistent fire.
He kind of screams as the flames lick at him and lick at his precious cap. You still have 2 actions.
Yeah,
left.
I'm gonna draw another flask of Alchemist Fire, and that's it. I'll take a defensive position.
Okay, yeah,
up
you
and
can
just
take a
like,
bit of cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carina.
Sorry.
Wait, did it go? Oh yeah, it hit me.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't I use my shield block? Because, I should have done that. Oh well, I just realized I wasn't thinking correctly.
Yeah, no worries.
Lesson learned.
There's something about you that it doesn't like, and you're not sure what it is.
So, I'm gonna make some commentary about Pharasma being displeased with his murdering, and take a swing at him.
So you start screaming, you're yelling at him about Pharasma. Let me make a will save.
Ooh.
Ah, crap.
Truly scary thing.
He looks terrified. He's like, you can still make your attacks. It's not his turn.
Yeah. 17 to hit.
Hit.
Ooh.
Alrighty.
Eat him.
Ooh, yes. Spooked and scared.
Yeah. So it's gonna be 13 hit points. How do you like that? Taste your own.
Terrible, terrible, filthy gods.
Okay.
You still have one more action.
Well, that was my first hit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I have 2 more
shoot.
actions.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you can talk about Pharasma without really. That's not really an action.
Oh yeah. I
spend a
I
whole
intended to
action.
do that while I was hitting, but if I need to make it
that's fine.
separate, I'm
That's
happy to
fine.
do that too.
No, you're fine.
Okay. So this is at a -5, so it's going to be 18 to hit.
18 will hit as well.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's
Nice.
8 and 6 is 14, plus 4 is 18 points of damage.
Get him.
And then I'm going to raise my shield for my last action.
He screams and cries out, cowering from you, and you just layer the blade down upon him. And he, like, as you're doing that, he just screams and cowers like, no, I don't want to go! And you just are hammering him with the blade. And he falls over.
Woo.
Is he dead?
Looks like it. He collapses to the ground, screaming and wailing in fear and panic.
What a world.
Well, I feel bad about that last one.
He
then,
went
but-
from terrifying all of you to being terrified of you. That said, the clattering from below
I was hoping that would stop it.
is still on its way.
Is the darkness
But
still
the darkness is now fading.
there? Even the side that was like really dark?
Yeah, that side of the cavern.
Okay.
And as the
So-
darkness fades away, you can see all of Lieutenant Swift Thistle's privates
whatever.
piled up in a bloody heap.
Oh no!
Their heads all detached and arrayed in a nice little pile, all looking at you with dead, vacant eyes.
What about Sabrina and the family?
You do not see Severina and the family.
Okay. Sorry, but
Sorry.
Oh, I'm just.
Whew.
I'm saying a whole
Terrifying.
bunch of words really fast in Elven, and it sounds beautiful. Does anybody speak Elven?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do.
It's not beautiful.
It's nothing but elven profanity.
profanity.
Yeah. Very colorful.
Well,
Ooh.
commiserations, Lieutenant, but we need to flee.
Oh yeah, no, it's. I'm already thinking.
I'm afraid we cannot give them a proper burial at this time.
Not now.
Do we look for the thingy that will open the gate?
So, a couple things.
Yeah.
First of all, looking down at the red cap, you see it has the crown that it apparently took back, and the skull. It has those in a bag, like in a netting bag on its waist, and you can see the crown in there and the skull. And around its neck, it has this crude root. It looks like a bunch of roots that have grown around this emerald gemstone. That
the one
looks
that
like
was
it would
missing.
fit into the crown.
Right.
Looks like it stole it forever ago, and grew roots around it to make a pendant. So you see that on it. Then you see the heap and pile of bodies, but beyond them, you're looking through the root structures of a tree that looks like it looks into the swamp.
We could just leave this way.
So we can get
Yeah.
out.
You also see the kind of pile of like the contraption, like the wheeling contraption up near the bodies.
Does it seem like we can get out here?
Yeah, you could probably get out here. Yeah.
Let's grab the. I'm gonna grab the crown and the gem.
Okay.
And
The easiest way to do that is just grab the whole sack
Yeah.
with the skull and
yeah, unfortunately.
Well, the body's all over the place, and
Right.
actually, it's getting back together to chase you.
Is the skull gonna give me a little chatter?
Maybe. You never know.
I'm gonna name you Manny. Yeah, grab that and
Yeah, I mean, the skull, by the way, is kind of moving in there, just a little.
Let's go.
Right, and head out. Yeah,
Will it be happy if we put the thing on? We don't have time.
No,
Never
no,
mind.
Let's just go.
Let's go.
Go.
I'll be able to see.
Okay.
So you flee from this place,
Yep.
making your way back out into the swamp. Moments later, as you climb out into the early evening gloom, you can see the skeletons start making their way up to the root structure and just kind of clawing at it, but they don't seem to be crawling out. They seem to be stuck in there, unable to leave. You make your way through the swamp.
I'll chuck the skull back down at them.
Yeah.
Here's your skull.
Can we just take a few moments to like maybe take some of the rubble that's around here and pile it in front of the root structure?
You could, yeah. I mean, it would take a bit of time, but because you'd have to load it all over there and do it. They don't seem like they're following.
Yeah,
you
I
out
just
of
don't
there.
want somebody to go back down.
Oh, that's right.
Like mistakenly
Sure.
crawl into a
Hey, look, there's this weird, creepy tree. Let's climb into the roots.
Yeah.
Smart
sure.
decisions.
Yeah.
Like you do.
So you're able to kind of pile up some debris in front of the thing and leave the skeletons behind, and slowly you're able to make your way back to the remnants of the camp. As night begins to fall, you see that the place is in tatters. Your wagon has been knocked over. Looks like one of the horses panicked.
Yeah.
The horses are dead.
What about Rosemary?
Yeah, Rosemary, I'm afraid. has
No.
However, standing in the middle of it, weapon drawn, shaking in the dark, you see Severina and the Hastings family. She calls out from the darkness, Is that you?
It's us. We're back. Is everyone okay?
No, we're not okay!
Well, is everyone alive?
Murder! And that, everyone, is where we are going to end this spooktacular Halloween episode of the Oblivion Oath. I want to thank you all for watching, everybody. Have yourself a happy Halloween.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Get sick on candy. Bye.
Your vision slowly returns to you. You're continuing the march toward the bone-white keep. It is far off in the distance, but it grows ever nearer with each step. As you draw closer, it is clear to you that this is a very ancient structure. Its stones have been worn away by time, although it doesn't appear that this is the sort of place that ever sees rain or storms. Once you have kind of halved the distance, these wisps, many of which are floating far away, some wandering, others marching towards the keep like yourself, one of them begins to draw near. As you get closer and closer, there is no choice but all of the wisps to get closer to each other, and one begins to get very close to you indeed. It looks like a dwarf in armor.
I'll move towards the dwarf
Okay.
cautiously.
As you move closer, you end up drawing closer to the keep, the castle as well, because that is where this dwarf is heading. The dwarf's long gray beard just trails off into smoke and wisp. The dwarf is wearing ancient-looking plate armor. And as you draw near, even though this dwarf, you can kind of see through them, you can make out a good amount of detail. The dwarf is bearing a badge on its shoulder that is the symbol of Lastwall. And in the center of it is a black key.
Knight of Lastwall?
The dwarf stops. As if he hasn't heard anything in a long time. He's almost surprised by the sound. He stops and gazes about for a moment, looking past you twice before his eyes manage to find you. He looks at you and says, "Yes? Who's there?"
I'm Quandle, but I'm guessing you'll only know me by this. Having not looked at it yet this whole time, Quandle will pull his sleeve back, sure that the mark of the key is still going to be there on his arm.
It is. And he looks at you and he says, "Ah, another. There are always more."
Where are we?
He looks. "I don't know. I've been here so long. What year is it?"
I don't know. 4 something?
Perhaps not too long then.
I mean, 4,000 something?
Yes, as it was when I arrived here. 4076. I suppose there's nothing left to do but to go to the castle.
Do you know what the castle is?
No, but I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid. We can go together.
He nods. Together then.
Together.
And side by side you begin to march closer and closer to the keep.
I'd offer you a pickle, but I ran out.
He kind of offers up a wistful smile. "I haven't eaten in, well, since I got here. But it doesn't seem like it's been too long. I'm not even hungry." As you approach the keep, it is now near to you, and the front of it bears a pair of very tall, bone-white doors. They look like they're made of some sort of stone. And as you draw near, they silently open. And he looks to you and says, "I don't know what's inside. I've been avoiding coming here for quite some time."
Well, if you don't tend the fire, it goes out. Let's go see what we have.
As you step inside the doors, they silently close behind you, leaving you in the dark.